I want to welcome you to another edition of If Japes Drew This. Now, this is my first time doing a voiceover, so I'm going to show you what I used. The reference is my McFarlane Tetsuo and my McFarlane Knead, as they say. And that's about it. Now, this part, sometimes you just nail the sketch, and I did in that. So I blew it up, and instead of going straight to inks, what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to do the line work in pencil to show you guys what a clean pencil line usually looks like before I get to work. So that's what I'm going to do. So light box on, we're going to speed up, and I'll let the rest talk for itself for a little bit. Let the ambiance kick in with the music in the background. Yeah, I'm just going over more fine line work here, making sure that some of the detail, because I knew I was going to transfer it to a cleaner piece of paper, so I left out a lot of the detail I would just probably just sketch in. The gun details, or wrinkles in the clothing, the debris behind him and in front of him, the jars, etc., etc. I also sped this up a little bit because, as you will see in the video, it'll go faster to slower depending on what I'm working on. So this is a nice speed to kind of get the line work in that you really can't see anyway, because the light from the light box is transferring the sketch and you really can't see the actual pencil work. So like I said, getting in some of that detail, putting in some extra debris here and there. Now I turned off the light box so you guys can see the line work that I penciled in, and I'm also taking the opportunity, without the sketch, I can kind of freehand draw in the extra details that I'm going to use, and maybe get some shadow work into where the light source is going to be and where the shadow is going to be, along with, like I said before, the detail from the actual figures I'm using and the reference. I had to get reference for the gun, because my Tetsuo, or my Canada, the gun on Canada's action figure broke, and I don't have the whole piece, so I had to go get reference for that. So this is just sketching all that, and so when I go to inks, I have exactly what it's supposed to look like, and you get a better idea. I wanted to go really ham on the detail, on like all the debris flying up. So I put in some stuff where, as it comes to the end, it became a little obtrusive. So in the final cut, you'll see from the drawing that there is some stuff I took out for the sake of composition. Okay, and from here, we're going to speed up a little bit because this took some time and we're just inking it. I use regular India ink, and my weapon of choice in inking is usually, 9.5 times out of 10 is a Winsor Newton Series 7 brush size 2. I get all my line work done there. I can use and have used all other types of inking materials, brush pen, marker, crow quill. I usually go and do detail with that if I need to, but I usually avoid it and just kind of go in and use my brush. As a little challenge of mine, I love, as you can see, I might have talked past it, but I usually eyeball cylinders and straight lines. I find it easier, or I find it more challenging to try to do that instead of bringing out a ruler or a compass, or even you know, the pre-shaped circles to get that in. Sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't, but I'm usually happy with the results. So we got Tetsuo in the background looking really sharp. Sun behind him, so all the shadow is behind him and the light will transcend from behind him down. And I'm working on the debris and stuff here. As you can see, there's a lot of little individual pieces. There's some foreground, midground, background, and stuff all in between all that. Also notice the actual, for those who have followed and know the story of Akira, the jars, which is what Tetsuo was going to get because he wanted to re-release Akira to the world. Tetsuo's there to stop him. I'm sorry, Knead is there to stop him, and calamity ensues. So, for those who didn't see the movie, you're caught up on what the actual image is. Of course, there's a lot more that went on that movie, so if you haven't seen it, it's one of the best cinematic films ever made. Go see it. Which is why I did it, because it was a big inspiration for me in terms of my artistic growth and all other aspects of storytelling. I have the mangas and they're incredible. I study them to high effect because there's so much story in there. Plus, to mention, the guy who directed the movie also did the manga, so it's good stuff. Getting pretty far with these inks. I can tell you it was a lot slower than it looks now, and this thing has been sped up to like 20 times the amount of time it took to do this. But I don't really take a long time to ink. I've seen people with their lines go a lot slower than me, which, to their credit, their lines are a lot more steadier than mine. But you know, we all have our own techniques. That pole that I just drew in became a little obtrusive, so I held it back. I toned it down a little bit in the final drawing. You won't see it until you see the final version of this. So it's another piece. There's some real foreground shadowing that I thought worked that I didn't do in the sketch, that I kind of invented as I was going in the inks. I thought was going to work, but again, it kind of draws your eye away from, it becomes too obtrusive, so it kind of gets in the way of Kaneda. So I think that's it. Nope, I did a little more. I guess I was giving it some thought. Oh, I got to do the smoke. Yes, and then I go in with, when I'm done with all the blacks, I go in with the whiteout pen and go in and get the details. Thin pens, and sometimes a thick one, to get some variety in the lines, do some detail in the shaded parts, you know, hair, wrinkles in clothing, debris on, you know, scratches and stuff like that. So here's the finished version, the full colored version, and we're going to pull out the show to you there. And that is, if Japes drew this Akira, the print will be available along with a t-shirt. I think I'm going to do a t-shirt too on my Patreon. So check it out and join up. Thanks you guys for watching. Take care.